Fabulous Foods with Victoria. I'm very excited today. Today I have a guest and he's going to be teaching us some sofrito recipes. So please introduce yourself to everyone.
Hi Revere, my name is Esteban Cruz and I am the owner of Clara's Gourmet Sofrito.
Awesome.
It's a marinade slash cooking base that can be used for a lot of things, not just your typical rice and beans, but a lot of other things.
Awesome. So what are we going to be making today, Chef?
Today we're going to be making a pork butt.
Okay.
Which is a little easier than a pork shoulder. It's a little easier to cook.
Okay.
We're gonna marinate it first. We're gonna put it in the cast iron, which I love using cast iron all the time.
Okay.
As much as I can.
Yeah.
We're gonna cover it in aluminum foil and we're gonna put it to bake.
Okay. So tell us about the sofrito sauce.
The sofrito is something that I've been working on for over 15 years. It started with, I wanted to do a cookbook, but I decided to get my seasonings down packed so I could, all the flavors would be uniform in the cookbook. Mm-hmm. But this was so popular that I've started selling it. For the last 5 years I've been selling it. Okay. And people love it.
So what's inside the sofrito? So we're using the wet for the pork butt today?
We're going to use both.
Okay.
But a typical sofrito is made with about 4 or 5 ingredients. Oh, this is a little bit more complex. It's made with kosher salt.
Yep.
Our 8 spice blend and olive oil.
Okay. How do we marinate it first?
We're going to cover the pork butt with both wet and dry sofrito.
Okay.
So you basically you take some out.
So there's cilantro in there.
There's cilantro, peppers,
what kind
ahises.
of peppers are in it?
Bell peppers.
Oh, bell peppers. Okay.
Ahises, which is like a Scotch bonnet.
What is that now?
But sweet. It's not spicy like the Scotch bonnets.
So you get sweet and spicy?
Well, the ahises are not spicy. They're the sweet version. They're similar to a Scotch bonnet, but they're sweet.
Okay.
Onions, peppers, cilantro, culantro, onions, and ahises.
Nice.
The typical sofrito recipe, but then I've added a bunch of other things to make it. You can use it on a lot of other things.
So how do you know how much to put in a certain quantity of pork?
It already comes with salt, kosher salt. For a piece of meat this size, I would probably use 2 spoonfuls, or about half a cup.
Okay. All right. And then how do you marinate it?
This is marinating here.
Do you put any cuts in your pork, or you just
This is a small piece of pork butt. I wouldn't go ahead and puncture it or anything.
Okay.
We're gonna make pulled pork, so eventually this will all be just shredded, and the flavors will infuse throughout.
Okay. And when you're cooking it, how long will it cook for?
Typically this size, 3 hours in the oven at 350.
Okay.
You check it every hour or so.
And
make sure the water isn't evaporating because it will burn.
And do you marinate it overnight, or just marinate it now and just pop it in the oven?
I am showing you how to marinate it. You can marinate it overnight, but this sofrito has everything you need. Once you cook it and it falls apart, the flavors will be infused throughout the whole meat.
Great.
Yeah,
okay. Perfect.
Actually, I want to put a little more, but do you mind?
Sure.
Maybe one more spoonful. We want it covered.
Okay.
We want it covered pretty much. And we'll try to get it into all the little crevices.
Okay. Do you need more?
One is enough. Do you mind just grabbing the dry sofrito?
So how long does it take for you to dry the sofritos?
It takes me about 30 hours.
Oh, wow.
It's dehydrators that I've bought to make the dry sofrito. Go ahead, a little more.
All right.
Especially in that little slit there. It takes about 30 hours for me to make that product. And it gives it...
It smells so good.
It gives foods a completely different flavor. So this is basically what it would look like.
Perfect.
Marinated. Again, you can cook it overnight, marinate it overnight. But if you don't have time, what we just did will suffice.
Great.
Yeah. So this, I typically put it here. We don't want to waste any of this stuff.
Not at all. We don't want to do that. This is gold.
We don't want to
Green
waste
gold.
any of that. So now we're just going to cover up the meat as tight as we can so
Okay.
none of the juices get away,
All right.
evaporate. I usually use the runoff or the drippings for to make rice with, yellow rice. We don't. I never throw away the drippings. I reserve it
Yep.
so I can make yellow rice or red beans and rice or un locrio de puerco, which is
Urocchio e prendo.
a locrio, which is
Locrio.
rice with meat in it.
Okay.
So once this is wrapped tightly,
Yep.
we just throw it in the oven, set it and forget it, so to
Right.
speak.
All right. Well, thank you for showing us that. We'll put this in the oven and we'll come back and we'll teach you guys how to make a potato salad. All right. Thank you, Chef, for teaching us how to use your sofrito sauce, wet and dry.
You're welcome.
For everybody. That was great with the pork butt. So now I thought we'd do a combination and see how we can make potato salad with it.
Great.
I think it was really cool when you were like, well, we can put sofrito sauce in the potato salad. And I was like, great. I've never done that before. So, all right. So I went ahead, everyone, and I boiled different colored potatoes. I got little ones and I cut them in halves. So I'm just gonna add that. And then we were talking about, how do you make potato salad, right? Because I feel like everybody makes it different everywhere. And he was like, let's add some beets. And I was like, great, dietitian, we need some, right? So I went ahead, we have some beets. You know what? We're not gonna waste any of it, so we're gonna use it all. So I just
Excellent.
diced it up as small as I could. When I'm eating potato salad, I don't always love to chew such big chunks. So something to just be that you can practice on is knife cutting skills and just cutting it as small as you can.
Yeah.
So I add some red onions too.
It's already looking delicious.
Yeah, nice and colorful, right? All
I
right.
love the potatoes that you chose.
Thank you. I thought
The tricolor.
tricolor. Gotta add some color to it for us. All right. So I have a little bit of Dijon. I'm not gonna add too much because we're gonna add your sofrito sauce. But I thought it would give it a nice little tart that we could try.
Love Dijon.
Do you? Yeah. And then, so typically when I make potato salad or growing up with potato salad, we always use mayonnaise. But lately, I've been using yogurt. And I swear you can't taste the difference.
Really? Okay.
You'll be the test taster
All right.
today, okay? We can add some sofritos in here. You can use it later, right? All right, so how much do you think you would be adding for here?
Enough to kind of change the flavor where your guests say, wow, this is delicious, and they'll never know.
Okay.
They'll never know what you did to it. It's obviously going to change the color of it. Let's mix it up
All right, let's see
and
what we
see
got. Is it come from Puerto Rico?
Puerto Rico and Dominican.
Okay.
Clara is my mother.
Oh,
She was an
wow.
excellent cook, and I admired her cooking. My stomach admired her cooking my whole life.
Beautiful. We love that.
Sofrito is something that's been around for a long time.
Okay.
Hundreds of years, actually.
Yeah.
It came out of Europe,
Okay.
Portugal. Around that area, and a couple of hundred years ago, it made its way through the Caribbean and to the United
Oh.
States. So you see the taste in the background? It changed it a little bit.
Yeah.
Not too much. You don't want to overpower either.
All right, so I think this potato salad's looking great.
It's looking good.
Do you think we should plate up a dish and show
Yeah,
everybody
yeah.
a traditional
Yeah,
style?
yeah.
The yummy pot now. Are you ready to plate these meals?
I sure am. I'm ready to eat, but we got a plate first.
Let's do that. All right, so this is our beautiful pork butt. You can see how it just flaked apart really nicely and it's ready to be eaten.
Yep.
All right, so chef, which way and what steps should we do first?
Well, if we're gonna plate a little fancy first, right? We
Okay,
said.
love that.
What do you think? Beans on top? Every time I go to a bodega, they ask me beans on top or on the side.
I'm on top, kind of. Yeah, put it on top.
Okay.
I like when all the flavors mix on my rice. Do you eat the rice separate or you put it all
I
together?
like it half and half.
You like it half and half.
Half
So
and half.
perfect, half and half. All right, now the pork.
Go ahead and add some
All right.
pork.
You'll have to tell me what's a good size for you.
Latin people overeat.
Okay.
I don't know about Italians. You can put
Food
as
is
much
food.
put as much protein as you want on there.
All right.
So this pork was made with just one
Just that.
seasoning. You won't
Beautiful.
need anything else once it's done.
Keep it simple. And then you just
Has-
put this in the fridge, right? Mm-hmm. How long do you think it will last in the fridge for?
It can last up to 3 to 5 months. But none of my customers, they run out in a month.
It won't last that
It
long.
won't last in your refrigerator.
All right, and now potato salad.
Now you put some potato salad.
Okay. Beautiful color to add to our dish. I like everything kind of leaning against the rice. Our rice is like our little sockle, which is great. Okay. Wow, these look beautiful.
Let's eat.
Yeah. All right, thanks everyone for joining us today, and I hope you enjoy learning about sofritos. We'll see you guys next time.